The enemy was the Drixan Horde, metallic beings forged of living alloy, their forms shifting and reforging with each strike. They were relentless, never tiring, never fearing. The princess, Starlight, carried a blade of light that pulsed with the energy of her ancestors, but even that seemed small against the tide of steel. By my side, my shield hummed louder each time the Drixan drew near. It was alien tech, a relic scavenged from their ruins. I didn't fully understand it, but it had saved me more times than I could count. I was no longer just a human soldier. With the shield, I was the princess's protector, her last wall against annihilation. "Are you afraid, human?" she asked as the storm winds carried ash across the dunes. "Yes," I admitted. "But fear means I know what's at stake." Her smile was faint, almost sorrowful. "Then you are more honest than most of my own guards." The words lingered with me, even as the sky split open with lightning and the first wave of the horde descended. The battle at the shattered gates. The gates of her city had already been broken by the time we returned. Towers smoldered. Cries echoed through ruined streets. What remained of her army fought in pockets, hopelessly outnumbered. And then the warlord appeared. He was a giant among his kind, his form plated in black steel that reflected no light. His voice was a screech of metal on metal as he pointed his spear of molten ore toward the princess. "Your line ends here, child of Taleris," he thundered. "Your people will be consumed." The princess stepped forward, her blade igniting with white fire. She would have met him head-on, but I knew in the marrow of my bones that she would die in that clash. So I raised my shield. The first strike came like a meteor, shattering stone beneath my feet. The shield held, though I felt its power drain. The second blow drove me to my knees. The third cracked the air around me, sending vibrations through my skull. "Fall, human," the warlord hissed. "You are not of this world. You do not belong." But Starlight's voice cut through the ringing in my ears. "He belongs more than you ever will." With a roar, the warlord lifted his spear for the final strike. My shield sang its death song, glowing brighter than the sun. I knew what it meant. One more hit would shatter it, and with it, perhaps me. I made my choice. The breaking of the shield. The spear came down, and I thrust the shield upward. There was an explosion of light, a sound like worlds colliding. The shield cracked, shards of glowing energy flying outward like broken stars. My arm seared with pain, but I did not let go until the last fragment dissolved into the air. The blast hurled the warlord back, his form partially melted by the shield's final defiance. He staggered, screeching in fury, his once perfect armor dripping like molten tar. Collapsed, breath ragged, vision dimming. The shield was gone. My last defense, my alien lifeline, had been destroyed. Yet when I looked up, the princess still stood, alive, her eyes burning with a mixture of fury and sorrow. She raised her ancestral blade and, with a cry that shook the ruined city, drove it through the warlord's chest. His alloy body screamed as it split, fragments scattering like dying embers before fading into silence. The battle was over. My shield was gone. But the princess lived. The queen's judgment. I awoke days later in a chamber of crystal light. My body had been mended by healers whose touch felt more like music than medicine. The princess was at my side, her gaze never leaving me. "You broke your shield for me," she said softly. "You gave everything." "I only did what I had to," I rasped. "You saved me once. I owed you." She shook her head. No debt could demand such a sacrifice. Before I could reply, the chamber doors opened. The queen herself entered, regal in her flowing robes of woven starlight. Her presence was overwhelming, her voice both warm and commanding. "So this is the human who shattered the shield of Drixan," she said. "Few of our kind could have done the same. And yet, he did it not for glory, but for my daughter." I tried to rise, but my body failed me. The queen raised a hand. "Rest. You need not bow. You have already given more than enough." There was silence, heavy and expectant, before she spoke again. "You are not of Taleris. By law you are an outsider. But by heart, by deed, you are one of us. I grant you citizenship, the rights of our people, and a place among us." My throat tightened. I had lost Earth. I had lost my comrades. But now, I was being given a home. The princess smiled then, brighter than I had ever seen. And in her eyes, I saw more than gratitude. I saw a future. The bond forged in fire. Life on Taleris was not simple. At first, many looked upon me with suspicion. A human given rights among them. It was unheard of. But the story of the battle spread, of the shield broken to save the princess, and slowly the whispers turned to respect. The princess and I trained together in the years that followed. She taught me the ways of her people, their language, their combat forms, their songs of history. In turn, I taught her the strategies and tactics of Earth's wars. Together we forged something new, a bond that crossed worlds. One night, beneath the twin moons, she spoke the words that changed everything. "You are no longer my protector," she said. "You are my equal, my chosen." I stared at her, heart pounding. "Sarah Line." She silenced me with a touch, her hand warm against my scarred face. "You broke your shield to save me. Now let us build a new one together. A shield of trust, of love, of future." And so, before her people and her mother the queen, I stood not as a soldier, not as a foreigner, but as her partner. Her hand in mine, her crown beside her. I became more than I had ever dreamed. Epilogue. One of them. Years later, when I walk the halls of the palace, children run to me, laughing, calling me Guardian King. I still bear the scars of the battle, still remember the sound of the shield shattering. But I do not regret it. That single choice gave me a home, a family, and a love that spans galaxies. I was once a lost human soldier, drifting between worlds. Now I am one of them. And all because I broke my shield to save a princess, who saved me in return.